She's back. Hi guys. I just finished filming my 2023 goals, and one of the biggest goals on there, and one we literally won't know if I'm successful until like the end of next year, is my low buy / no buy year. I have not called it a strict no buy because I think there is like this connotation that you will not spend any money except on necessities. Like, I remember watching this girl who was like, I'm not eating out, I'm not going to movies, I'm not buying books, I'm not getting coffee. Like, she was literally not buying anything unless it was like deodorant and she had ran out. There are many different ways you can do it. And so in the spirit of not confusing anyone, I want everyone to know that I very much consider this a no buy because I'm not buying anything outside of the rules I've set for myself. And since you can set your rules however you want, I think that's an important piece. Like, some people do no buys and their only thing that they're not buying is clothing. So I think there's a lot of nuance with the low buy, no buy verbiage, but I don't want to confuse anyone. So I just wanted to take a moment and I wanted to share why I'm doing this, what my rules are, and what my goals are for this. So if you are also interested in doing a no buy, I really encourage you to join. As a member of the channel, I am committing to doing a monthly recap where I will share if I was able to stick to all of my goals for the month, but specifically there is going to be a section where we talk each month about my progress for the no buy. So subscribe if that's something that you're interested in. But hi, if you're new here, my name is Brittney. I am a dinkwad, that stands for dual income, no kids with added dog. And me and my partner live in central Illinois. We're pretty regular people and we're both pretty fed up with like consumerism, and so he is doing this with me to a certain degree. So I'm really excited to have a partner in this as well. And I also just want to say, like, I literally have more than I could ever need. Like, if someone forced me to do a no buy for 2 years, I feel like I would still find plenty of things to do for 2 years. So it feels like a very attainable task. I say this on day one where my credit card's currently not working because someone had one of those scary card scanners at our local grocery store. So anyways, we just had to get new cards and all this shit. But basically what I'm saying is, like, this is very attainable for me. And it's really important to me because I am really coming to the realization that where we spend money supports an ulterior motive, intentionally or unintentionally. And so part of this is like taking responsibility that the money I spend at a place, it's not just LOL, whatever, like I just wanted to run around Target or run around Walmart or whatever, that money actually goes to something. And as I work towards being like a more informed consumer, I also want to make sure that I'm like, okay, well, if I don't know what it is, if I don't know what it's supporting, let me not go ahead and spend it then. You know what I mean? Let me tell you, first of all, my reasoning. If you watched my goals for 2024, you know that one of my main reasons is like, I am stuck in this consumerism loop of using buying things as a way to fix my problems. Like, I have taken shopping therapy or retail therapy to a new level that even when something is so completely unassociated with what is going on with me, I still turn to shopping. And with Amazon being on your phone, being so quick to be delivered, it is like I can literally shop 24/7 and I just can't. I mean, I can, but I don't want to anymore. I want to make sure that as I get older, I don't get sucked more and more into consumerism. Like, that's not a goal I want for myself. I don't want my main way of coping with something to be like, go and swipe my debit card. I don't want that. I want to actually be able to like work through the shit I need to work through to better myself. So that's like my main reason is like, I'm noticing a problem And rather than just be like, oh, well, whatever, like, I'm sure I'll figure it out, I'm like, okay, let's ex-nay this, right? So one of the other reasons is I just want to be more financially responsible. You know, when you're like 20, 21, 22, listen, in my 20s, I was like, well, soon I'll be 30 and then I'll be way more responsible. And, you know, once I'm 30 and I have a home and da 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 da. Okay, well, I'm 35 now. And while I've obviously been financially responsible enough to do like certain things and to like own a home and have certain things, like there's still a lot of other stuff that needs to be looked after and cared for. Homeownership is no joke. I will die on this hill. So I just want to be more financially responsible. You know, I do not want to work until I'm 95. I don't even know if I want to live till I'm 95, to be honest, because the world be stressing me out. Can you tell I'm a millennial? I'm like, don't make me stay here too long because you guys, yeah. But I want to be more financially responsible. I want to retire earlier than most people retire. I do not want to constantly be trying to keep up with a rat race that like doesn't even matter. If you want to have some inspiration for saving money, I really encourage you to watch this Designing Millionaires or $1 Million Design. I'm going to find it. It's on HBO. I'm sure you can find clips online, but it is an early 2000s design show where these exclusive interior designers are fixing up homes for people who like need help. And the shit is so outdated because it benefits capitalism and people being consumer. It benefits like the trends constantly changing. So, you know, they were walking into these houses and they were like, this is way too white. Like we're taking off the white, we're putting in yellow. You know, it's giving Olive Garden. You know what I mean? When you used to go to nice people's houses back in the early 2000s and it looked like an Olive Garden. Maybe the 90s. And it was so interesting to be like, wow, it really is like, it's so fake. Things change so quickly. So I just want to be more financially responsible. I don't want to be pulled in every damn direction trying to make as much money as possible just so I can spend it all. And the other reason is I want to save money. I want to save more money because to me, money equals freedom and security. It means that I can make the decisions I want to make most of the time. And it means that I can, like, I have the freedom to do things that I want to do. And I want more of that. More than I want like a pair of earrings or shoes or whatever. I mentioned I want to stop solving my problems with shopping. I want to be more resourceful. You know, like when something breaks, like initially my first plan is always like, oh my God, like I'm going to buy a new one, you know, like this broke, I should get a new one. To the point where I just had this whole situation with a coffee maker I really, really love because it's stainless steel and that keeps your coffee hot for hours there's no hot plate on the coffee maker. Anyways, whatever, let me get off. Trust me, it's a grown-up things, you know, but it wasn't working. The coffee was tasting so shitty and I was gonna go out and just like buy another coffee maker. And instead of doing that, I was able to find a cleaner, people who had the same issues. They're like, all you have to do is buy this industrial descaler. It's no big deal. You run it through, you run through water in your coffee pot. It's as good as new. I've had like 12 pots of coffee from it. It's been so good. And I just love feeling resourceful. I also want to grow my own herbs. I have one of those like garden grower things, but I want to learn how to grow things that I need. And my final reason is I want to keep promises to myself. You know, I every year start my year with all of these goals and whatnot, and it's really hard for me to stay committed to those goals. And you know, I'm always giving myself a pass. I'm like, oh, I had a really hard day, so I should be able to go shop and just wander around TJ Maxx. No, I want to keep this promise to myself. So all right, those are all my reasons. Let's get into the rules for the no buy. First and foremost is obviously use the things I have. So using the things I have is like, you know, if I think of deodorant, I'm obviously not going to go the year without deodorant, but I asked for this specific kind of deodorant as a stocking stuffer from my family this year, and I got 4 new deodorants. So I'm going to be good for a while. So I'm not going to be out and around looking at deodorants. Maybe this isn't a good example. You know what is a good example? Body wash. I have probably like 4 body washes in my shower, and I just like, they're not used up. Some of them have been up there for like 2 and 3 years. Like how long does body wash even last? Like maybe it would be used up if I didn't keep buying them all the time. So I am not going to buy probably any body wash this year, but if by some weird miracle I use up all the body wash I have, then that can be something I can consider buying. Okay. The next rule is no new products. So what I mean by this is like outside of like obviously anything that would be like unsanitary to buy used. So like obviously we're not talking about body wash, we're not talking about deodorant, we're not talking about those things. But for example, let's say something I use really frequently breaks. I'm just going to say my cell phone. I truly really can't think of anything because I feel like I have extras of everything. The first like idea is if one, is there anything else I can use to replace this? It's a phone, so probably not. And 2, where is a way I can buy a used phone? Like I'm not going to buy a brand new phone. I'm not looking to buy anything brand new this year. I am looking to fix, or if I absolutely have to replace, I want to use something that to give something another life, recycle it. And the final rule for me is if none of those apply and I need to buy something and it needs to be new and it's for myself, I want to focus on shopping small. So that means shopping from small owned businesses. I actually thought of a better example. So my toothbrush, I have an electric toothbrush and it works totally fine. I definitely don't need one. But if that broke, I would want to buy another electric toothbrush. I wouldn't buy one used because that's gross. And so there is this black dentist. She makes this really cool looking toothbrush that it just looks like the best. It's really wide so the head gets your gums and your teeth, and I want it. It's $140. I could have bought it and just had it, but there's nothing wrong with my current toothbrush. So until that one dies or stops charging or whatever, if that happens this year, I would buy a small business owned toothbrush. So that's what I mean. I have a few ideas for like red, orange, and green categories. So red means like under no circumstances am I buying any of this shit. I'm not buying it unless my house goes up in a fire. Knock on wood. Like I cannot see a reason why I would need one of these things. So this is my red category. Stationery and pens. I could write the next 12 great American novels with all the pens I have. And I have so many pens and so many highlighters and crayons and coloring pencils and every single writing utensil, every single kind. I have fountain pens. Do you know what I mean? Like not just regular fountain. I mean like ink pens. Like I have it all. I do not need another damn pen or a book. If I even look at a notebook, it's over. I don't need another notebook. The next thing is clothing and shoes. I have enough clothing to get me through for a very long time. The one exception to this is like if I somehow, my body changes a lot and none of my clothes fit, like I don't have a reasonable amount of clothes in a category, then I'll allow myself to buy clothes. But as I'm seeing that I have like 4 bags of clothes that are like too small for me in my attic right now, I'm not planning on buying any clothes or any shoes. Like the shoes I have, I wear like the same 4 pairs of shoes all year, and I have like 20 pairs of shoes, so I'm not seeing it. Decor. I'm not buying one piece of decor this year. No. I don't need another picture. I don't need another pot. I don't need an outdoor decor piece. Like we're done. Physical books. We have 4 bookshelves in our living room. 2 of them are packed to the max with physical books, and we have a bookshelf upstairs. And my boyfriend just bought me a Kindle, and I have access to 3 local libraries. I do not need a physical book. We're not doing it. The next piece is technology. I don't need another TV, another camera, a cell phone, an iPad, a watch, an Oura Ring, any of the other tech that they're going to come out with that's going to be so perfect. I don't need it. We have absolutely everything we need. I don't need a smart plug or a smart nothing. So those are the categories. Orange category is like proceed with caution. One is grocery store. This sounds a little weird, but I found that my spending is less about where I'm at and it's more of the mentality I'm in. And so I have tried this challenge before. I think I only made it like 6 weeks or 8 weeks, and my intention was to do it for a whole year, and I only made it for 6 weeks. So with that in mind, what ended up happening was I found myself like, oh, I had so much more time on my hands when I stopped going out shopping that I would be like, oh, we can just go to the grocery store. And I would have the same habits of like, this looks fun. Like, oh, this would be exciting to have. Oh, this is something like I know I don't need, but it's kind of fun. And so I would find myself using food and buying food in the grocery store to get those same kind of habits that I used to have at like a Target or a Walmart or a mall. And so I need to proceed with caution when it comes to the grocery store. I'd really like in the beginning for me to be really smart and use like pickup orders and delivery orders so that I'm not just like still somehow trying to sneak attack my way into the consumeristic habits. The next one is makeup. So makeup is something that runs out. I have so much makeup, and I'm also like, as I get older, I'm having more skin sensitivity issues. And so sometimes things that really never caused me an issue before are really causing me an issue. And because of that, like, I'm proceeding with caution in that I understand that I have enough makeup, probably not to get me through the whole year, but like, I still want to be very careful if I'm getting into a category that like I need to buy makeup or something like that. I'm sure there's other categories under orange, but those are the only two I have right now. And green is like, this is fine. Like, you can buy these things. So this is probably going to be the area where I'm like distinguishing like low buy, no buy. Okay. So one is consumables. What I mean by this is like anything you buy that the intention is to be used up, like, or eaten, or mainly eaten like that. I'm okay with that. So for example, I'm allowed to go get a little coffee if I feel so inclined. Right now I'm only getting coffee from local coffee shops out here, so that minimizes the amount of coffees I've been getting, but I'm okay with going and getting a coffee. If I've budgeted for it, I'm okay with that. The other thing is like activities, like experiences. I'm okay going to a cooking class, or going to a movie with my partner, or going to the farmer's market and getting a little coffee or lunch there. That's totally fine, because essentially I'm not bringing any extra shit into my house that isn't going to be used up. Things that are technically, well, I don't know, because consumable, I looked up the definition and it's like something that's used up, but like I wouldn't count a candle as a consumable, because one, I have too many fucking candles, and two, like, you still have the jar and stuff. I do not need candles. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm good. Okay, other things that are in the green category, gifts. So I'm lucky enough to have a lot of special people in my life. And so when I want to celebrate them, I have a category in I do like cash envelope stuffing things. So I have a category that is for gifts. And so I allow myself to save for gifts every month, and I am going to allow myself to buy gifts for people. Like, that's not going to be something I have to make, or that has to be, you know, pre-owned or whatever. It can just be what it is. And I will still intentionally try to shop small first and shop local first. But yeah, I'm totally okay with buying gifts for people. Okay, entertainment. So I mentioned the movies. I also will save each month for like entertainment, like games. I have an Oculus for my VR. I am really going to try and have a very, very lean first 3 months of the year, because outside of Valentine's Day and my mom's birthday, there are no like activities I see like coming up that I will have to like spend a lot of money on. So things like this where I'm talking about like, oh, the movies or like an event or an experience, I'm really not planning on doing any of that shit January through March because one, it's too cold. I don't like being cold. I'm cold right now. If you guys could feel my hands, you'd be like, they're icicles. Like, I don't want to do that. So I will allow myself to do gifts and to get entertainment for myself, but my goal is to not spend any money on entertainment for the first 3 months of the year. And the entertainment will mainly be video games. And that's it, you guys. That is my whole plan for my low buy, no buy of 2024. So I really encourage you, like, if you're interested and you feel like, man, I feel like consumerism is kind of coming for my neck this year. It doesn't have to be that way. You can definitely try different things in the spirit of coaching, right? If you don't like a behavior that you're exhibiting over and over again, and it's a negative behavior, like you can see it negatively affecting you, then you have the power to change the behavior, but you have to change the behavior. I know that sounds like very simple, but sometimes there is so much power in simple action. Like, damn, I don't like that I'm spending so much money. I could analyze my actions for a whole lot longer and really dig into like what is really going on with me and why I have this scarcity mindset. But instead of doing that and like continuing to spend while I work through that shit, I'm gonna stop spending and also work through that shit. And like, I really encourage you to do something about that. Like, if you are like, man, I'm really not enjoying how this is going, this piece of my life is going, I really encourage you to just interrupt the behavior, and then you can continue to deal with the emotions that come up as you're interrupting the behavior. You don't have to continue like sitting in the muck of the behavior and being like, oh, I just wish I could figure it out. Just try interrupting it. Just try interrupting it and see where it gets you. So if you're interested in doing a low buy or no buy, I would love to have you here. Even if you just want to support my journey, please subscribe. Like I said, every month I'm going to sit down and chat with you about kind of what has come up for me for the month and if I was successful in the low buy, no buy. And I'm also going to be keeping a list of all the things I want to buy this year. So that way at the end of the year, I can reflect on what I'm assuming is going to be like over 100 things that I'm not buying, but I like really wanted, you know? So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm super happy to have you here. And until the next one, bye.